What can I say, guys? I like the color orange. I, what else can you say? Orange is great. So does my friend Random Rob. If you're not subscribed to his YouTube channel and you're into watches, well, then you're missing out. So go check him out. I will put a link down below to his channel. He literally has nothing to do with this video other than, well, he's a really good friend of mine and he really appreciates the color orange. Also, it's in his logo. Maybe I'll get a logo at some point and maybe it'll have orange in it. Maybe not. Who knows? The logo story is a different story altogether. So I do like the color orange. This is what we're talking about today. The Lionsteel SR11AOS. Okay. Comes in just a, Lionsteel does just a plain cardboard box. Nothing fancy. Here's a more detailed part number. And this side over there. Okay, this was loaned in from my good friend Gary. He bought this brand new and sent it to me. I get to check it out and send it back to him. But in keeping with the orange theme, I thought I would bring out my white dial orange bezeled Omega Planet Ocean that I got from my very good friend, my really good friend, Brian over at Creations Fine Jewelers, and an orange pen that I own and carry, and an orange Civivi fracture. So we'll get these things out of the way here. These are both aluminum, so they have the exact same color and hue. They're really close. This one's G10, so it looks a little bit different. And the Planet Ocean always looks like it's blood orange, but it is very much, well, it is similar. It shows more red than it really is in pictures and videos. I don't know why. So let's talk about this now that I've rambled. We'll go through the specs really quick first. It's 4 3/4 overall. That includes about 1/4 of an inch for this carbide glass breaker. Overall is 8.5 inches. The blade is 3.6. The cutting edge is 3.41. Behind the edge, we'll save that. We'll come back to the behind the edge because that's really why Gary bought this, was for the edge. The blade thickness is 0.178, overall thickness of 0.566. The blade steel is Slipner, I believe is how you pronounce it. And it weighs in at 5.3 ounces. Super smooth action, and it feels great in the hand. This one actually really feels good in the hand. You do feel the pocket clip a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to lie. You can see where that lands on my hands right down here between the pinky and the middle finger, or the pinky and the ring finger, I should say. But it feels really good. Yeah, you can't really choke up on it, but it feels very good in the hand. You do have a lanyard hole if you're into that sort of a thing. Aluminum scales, which is an integral. So it's an integral. It's one solid piece of aluminum that is completely milled out, which to me alone, that's pretty phenomenal. Okay. They can mill out the lock bar cutout, the groove, all of the hardware spots, the lanyard hole, the speed holes across the top, the opening and stuff for the pocket clip, bolt and glass breaker, the stop pin, everything. And even the inside stuff, because there is some, not really milling inside, but a little bit. There is some, if you can see that, ridges on the inside of the lock bar side, as well as on the inside, show side. So I am just amazed by that. Now, a lot of you are saying, dude, that's just machining 101. That's, the CNC, it just does it. It's no big deal. Okay, sure. I still am amazed by that. So now let's talk about the edge. The edge is a convex edge, which means that if my thumbs are kind of the spine of the blade up here, the edge is curled out towards the point. Hollow grind would be the opposite. Well, you know, the opposite. It would be, let me zoom out so I can show it to her. So a hollow point would be more like this, where the cutting edge is kind of splayed out at the back. My thumbs are the spine again. That would be a hollow edge. Flat grind would just be, you know, flat, just kind of tapers down to 0. And a convex really kind of is conical, if you will. And that gives a lot of strength to the edge, a lot of toughness and whatnot. So Gary bought this specifically because of the convex edge. So he's been learning, before I even shipped this to him, he bought a special strop and he's been learning how to sharpen a convex edge because he doesn't have one, which I think is kind of cool. So behind the edge on this is 0.035 or 35 thou, or, you know, 35 thousandths of an inch, however you want to pronounce that or say it. But I think it's a cool knife. It's about $200, give or take, online. Flips great, feels great, looks great. All in all, it's a pretty cool knife. I don't know how I feel about the convex edge because I don't own any that way either. But yeah, so we'll do a couple size comparisons here. Here's just a standard pen. I don't normally do the standard pen, but there's another one that I use to take my notes, and the Sharpie. So yeah, you know, the pen and the Sharpie are basically the same size. Throw that off to the side. Here it is with the TJ Fisher Cobra full custom, a little bit shorter. Spyderco. Somebody said that, you know, they never carry a AA or a D cell battery in their pocket. So it's a kind of a not a worthwhile size comparison. I don't know. I think it is, because I think everybody knows what a D cell battery feels like and looks like. They may not know what a Spyderco is. You may be new to the hobby and not have experienced all these knives like I have, or some seasoned collectors, if you will. So that's why I like to use the Sharpie, the number 2 pencil, and things like that, so that the average person, and I did just buy some more Oreo cookies, so you will see the Oreo cookie out here as a size comparison coming up on some other videos. Okay. But that's why I tried to use standard objects, not just other knives, like this AAA Olight flashlight, i3T, as size comparisons. There is a method to my madness and why I do things. It may not make sense at some point to some people, but most of the time it makes sense to me. It does have a steel lock bar insert because the aluminum against the steel blade would wear out, and then you could potentially have lock bar failure. So the steel lock bar there, because the aluminum is much weaker than the steel. So you got to put something in there. This one also has a lock bar lock. I don't exactly know what they call it here, but you rotate that a little bit and now you cannot unlock it. It has essentially turned this into a fixed blade. Could it fail? Maybe, but you have the normal lock bar, which is very prone to not failing. Now you've cinched this down, which essentially has put a cam in there and put pressure onto that lock bar. So now you can't accidentally unlock it when you are using it. You could be chopping with this or whatnot. And if you were putting this through some hard use, it's possible that you could accidentally unlock that. Maybe you're wearing gloves or something. That's a Lionsteel signature thing. right? And Lionsteel is made in Italy, or they are in Italy and make these knives in Italy. So, and they do a fantastic job, and they make knives for a lot of different companies as well as their own line. So very cool company that makes a lot of different stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you're interested in watches, please go check out my review on this Planet Ocean up in the corner, and check out my buddy Random Rob at the link in the description. Have a great day, everyone.